something that has not happened before, is something that is wrong. These individuals, like I mentioned, have different skill sets. These individuals have different understanding of football, different philosophies of football. We believe that when they bring those philosophies together, it will inure to the benefit of the team. At this juncture, we wanted to put a crack team together, a team made of different sources of knowledge, intelligence, ideas, and all that. So when they bring those ideas together, it will be in the best interest of the team. Somebody like Didi Dramani has worked on the local front. Today he works for Norgeland in Denmark. George Boateng played in the English Premier League for Middlesbrough. Later he became a coach. Now he's a coach at Aston Villa. Okraku played for the Black Stars in 2 tournaments, in 2006, at the World Cup in 2000, at the Cup of Nations. Today he's a coach at Borussia Dortmund. He has another skill set. Chris Hughton, a former coach of Nottingham Forest, Newcastle United, and Brighton and Hove Albion, has seen it all. He also has a skill set, and we thought would be beneficial to the team. So it is the reason why we brought all of them together to share ideas, come up with things that will work to our benefit, especially at this crucial stage where we know that qualifying to the World Cup would mean a lot to the nation.
So this is a crack team with a mission to qualify us to Qatar 2022.
Absolutely.
Have they worked together before?
Not as a team. No. This will be their first time.
Are you not worried?
No, I'm not.
You have a crack team that are supposed to deliver a qualification to Qatar in a couple of weeks. They've never worked together. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's about the professionalism of the individuals. These are people who come from different backgrounds. I know they have started talking to each other. I know they are beginning to understand themselves from the background. I know for a fact that Otto will be visiting England in the coming days to watch a few matches and to speak to some of the players who play in England to make them understand their working philosophy. I also know that when they come together, when they meet for the first time physically, there will be engagements and meetings, and they will brainstorm. Now, collectively as a unit, they have not worked together, especially at that level. But I know that as individuals, they have common relationship, and they will translate that common relationship from an individual level to a group level. Who is in charge?
Otto is the coach. Chris is the one to direct affairs, to advise, to achieve 2 words. We believe in his competencies and his exposure and experience. Didi Dramani and George Boateng also come on board with loads of experience, and they will be in the assistant coach's position.
For every managing director, you have 2 deputy directors who are responsible for specific things. What is Boateng responsible for, and what is Dramani responsible for?
Dramani's background is content gathering, for that matter, statistics and analysis. Boateng's background is also purely tactical and information about the opponent, which is very, very crucial in situations like this. You can say, what is the role of a scout? The role of a scout is to look at the opponent and provide information to the technical team as to how to outwit the opponent. So yes, these are the backgrounds of the individuals. Fortunately, I also worked as a scout before. He was a scout for Ghana in 2013. Proud to our participation in the 2014 World Cup. He scouted Germany for the then coach Akwesi. He also scouted for the Black Stars in 2014. Proud to our participation in the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations. So he comes across as someone with loads of experience in the scouting division as well. He's worked as an assistant coach at Borussia Dortmund. He is currently in charge of talent spotting and youth development. He's worked in different capacities. He's worked at Borussia Dortmund. He's worked at Hamburg SV, and he's now he's also worked at Borussia Mönchengladbach. So yes, he may not be the big fish in coaching, but we know that we've engaged him. We know that his understanding of the game, he knows his level of intelligence and knowledge, and we believe that at this crucial moment, he also had full knowledge of this current team, and it's one of the reasons why he was considered. He was largely considered for this job. He worked with Milovan Rajvac. At least played 4 games in Cape Coast when we beat Zimbabwe 3-1, when we beat Zimbabwe 1-0 in Harare.
But he was a player then?
No, recently he was Milo's assistant. He was also around when we beat South Africa in Cape Coast to qualify for the playoffs. So at least in an assistant coach's capacity. So I mean, at least yes, we know he has full knowledge of this team, understanding, reaction, attitude-wise, and all that would give him will put him in a very good position to think about how to put the team together.
Educate us. What does a technical advisor do?
The technical advisor, his role is basically simple. His role is to suggest. His role is to direct. His role is to offer support. from behind the scenes. When he offers the support, when he directs, when he makes suggestions, and he comes on with his inputs, then the one at the helm or the one on the sidelines would now think whether it will be useful or not. But I think that when you are a team and you are working together, you do not repel suggestions.
So will he be on the sidelines of the game in 41 days' time?
It is possible. Obviously, it's possible. I mean, on a match day, you define the roles and you feel that the form. Or when it comes to those who appear on the technical bench, it is the decision of the federation.
How different is a technical advisor from a technical director?
Two distinct positions. I have heard this argument, and first of all, I was surprised when I heard the argument on radio, on TV. Listen,
what's the argument?
The technical director.
I haven't heard the argument. What's the argument?
Why do you have a technical director and appoint a technical advisor?
Yeah, it's a question
For a team.
Legitimate question.
I think that if you understand the role of the technical director, you wouldn't even go into asking that question. But yes, let me explain. And this is it: the technical director of the Football Federation, which is not different from what we have in Ghana, is like the technical administrator of the FA or the federation. That is what is stated by FIFA. The technical director of the Football Association is in charge of the day-to-day planning of the technical philosophy and football DNA of every federation. What happens in Vietnam, Kuwait, Azerbaijan is not different from what is happening in Ghana or the role he plays in Ghana.
And we have a technical.
First of all, yes, he's from Germany. First of all, he is in charge of coming up with all the programs, policies, and ratification of your national youth and grassroots development.
Okay.
So it means that today, if we have a grassroots development in place, it is a responsibility of the technical director's office. Now, he must appoint analysts to look at our football DNA and come up with suggestions. The technical director is responsible for the training and licensing of coaches in Ghana. As we speak, we have 103 license A coaches, we have 113 license B coaches, we have over 2,000 license D coaches.
Yeah, and
it is a responsibility of the technical director.
Okay.
Again, today as we speak, every year, the licenses of these coaches must be renewed through a refresher course. He sends regular reports to CAF and FIFA. He works on the curriculum for the training of referees and coaches in Ghana. He is responsible for the licenses and of coaches. And he must tell the FA and advise the Executive Council as regards the policy direction for juvenile football, for youth development, for women's football. And his job ends at the under-20 level.
Okay, so that's what he does.
Yes.
And the technical advisor, a lot of people are still not clear. There was a question that appeared on yesterday's show, Saving Our Passion, on GTV Sports Plus, where we had 4 former GFA chairmen on the show. And there were concerns that Mr. Otto Addo, who is now our head coach, right, for this particular assignment, in his last capacity as assistant coach, was not present to do the job. Why is he now the coach?
To do the job when? Maybe the person should have been specific. This was the agreement. I mean, there is a lot of misconception in the public, and
that's why we have you here.
When we had the meeting with Borussia Dortmund release, they made it clear that they would only release him during FIFA-approved international windows. FIFA-approved international windows. FIFA-approved international windows. He never missed a game. The Africa Cup of Nations was not a FIFA-approved international window. It is the reason why certain clubs refused to release their players 14 days to the tournament. It is why Mohamed Salah joined the Egyptian team late, Partey joined the Ghana team late, Mane joined Ghana late, Sheku Kouyaté joined Senegal late,
Why did
and Jordan Ayew
join the team late?
No, it is different. The laws that govern players under contract is different when it comes to tournaments, and it is totally different from a coach who is under contract with the club. Especially when he is not in a full-time capacity at the national level.
Which the last time he was in a capacity as assistant coach?
It was from September to December.
Which games did he cover?
He covered Ghana, Zimbabwe in Cape Coast, Ghana, Zimbabwe in Harare, Ghana, Ethiopia in South Africa, Ghana, South Africa in Cape Coast.
Okay. Let's address this. There's the perception that Mr. Otto Addo is the GFA's man and Mr. Hughton is a compromised person to be put in the position as technical advisor. On yesterday's GTV Sports Plus, Mr. Kaltufo, who presented the show, said categorically, and I quote him, that Chris Hughton was appointed by the government as technical advisor. What can you say about that?
I think it is unfortunate that we will be put in that context. I can confirm that Chris Hughton met the president of the FA. Not once. They didn't speak just once. Chris met the president of the FA. They did not speak just once. They spoke for a number of times. Even before the meeting, they had met again to discuss the possibilities and all, to also see the role he can play and what he can bring on board. So to say that he was appointed by the government as technical advisor when the government does not even have the powers to appoint coaches for the national team is unfortunate.
Okay, they leaned on you
it is unfortunate. When Chris came to Ghana, he contacted the president. The president met him before.
Which president?
The president of the FA met him before he traveled to Germany. He also spoke to the vice president, and they met a number of times.
Did he meet the sports minister?
I don't know. I don't work for the sports minister. I wouldn't know whether he met him. But I'm speaking for the FA. I am talking about what happened between my office and Chris Hughton. I don't know what happened between Chris Hughton and the government or ministry or whatever. But as far as I am concerned, I know he spoke to the GFA president. They had a number of conversations. He also spoke to the vice president. But for the fact that there was understanding between the office of the FA president and his vice and Chris Hughton, I don't think this appointment would have even come into play.
Would it have been easier if there had been a call for a coach instead of the headhunting? Because now it brings into play suggestions that the GFA was strong-armed to accept Mr. Hughton in whatever creative position and put him there instead of having just one coach without it. Is this the first time Ghana has had a technical advisor to advise the coach?
Per the role, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And why is the Ghana-Nigeria game so special that you need a technical advisor to add to two assistant coaches?
It's not. First of all, there are economic benefits and industry benefits from playing at the World Cup, which is not how do you call it? It's not news to followers of the game. If you qualify for the World Cup over the years, in 2006 when we qualified for our first World Cup, we made close to $6 million. In 2010 when we qualified for the World Cup and we go to the quarterfinals, we made $10.4 million. And in 2014, when we qualified for the World Cup, we made $9.5 million.
Which means the qualifying for the World Cup is a business.
It is a project, and it has countless benefits.
You've only talked about money right now.
Yes, I can break it down. You know, now when you play at the World Cup, yes, the amount of money that I mentioned will come to the federation, but the benefits to the economy comes to the economy is enormous. First of all, players who play at the World Cup, their clubs are paid by FIFA for contributing players to play at the World Cup. In 2006, we had about 4 players who were home-based. We had Sheila Eliasu, we had Habib Mohamed, we had Dankwe, we had Samir J, and these players had their clubs benefit from their participation in the World Cup. It was economically viable. Secondly, the value of a Ghanaian player will quadruple if you make it to the World Cup. The value of John Pintel in 2006 when he played at the World Cup quadrupled, which was why West Ham United bought him from an Israeli club.
So you are qualifying so that you can make the lives of Ghanaian footballers better. Is that what you're saying?
We qualify for the World Cup not to make the lives of Ghanaian footballers better, but it also goes to help the business fold. You have no idea the number of people who will travel to Qatar to go and witness the World Cup, and the number of travel and tour agencies or companies who will make money from Ghana's participation.
So can I agree that it's
economically the benefits are well spread.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have to get to the World Cup.
So it is always important to strive to get to the World Cup if you have the means.
All right. A couple of quick details. So these 4 gentlemen who are in charge of taking us to a victory against Nigeria, who's paying for their fees? Are they doing this for free?
They are, first of all, because it's just a 2-game tournament. It's part of the discussions we are having with the ministry about their remuneration package, because they are not going to sign a long-term contract and it's not a full-time job. You cannot discuss salary. You can only discuss compensation and how it's going to be paid, or how it will be paid, or how it should be arranged. So that discussion is currently ongoing between the FA.
You have no idea how much you're paying these gentlemen at this late hour?
The issue, first of all, Kafui, is not about money. Honestly,
but what you're doing is it's not a charity.
The issue,
you have to pay them to take us to the World Cup.
The issue, first of all, is to know that you have a team in place. The issue is that the people have agreed to come on board even without thinking about money, because over the years, all we hear is that the team has become a money-making venture. But in this case, it is not the money issue that is bringing them to come and serve their country, especially when they know that it is a crucial stage where they can also offer some form of service to Ghana, for instance.
But Henry, they're not going to do this for free. They're not going to do this for
yes,
free.
I agree. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I agree.
You have an idea of what your budget is.
These people work for football clubs already. I don't have their permission to mention how much they earn at their respective clubs, but I think they are earning good money at their respective clubs. And for them to agree to leave and come and help us qualify for the World Cup, I think is great. So it is not that it is not that there is no idea how much they will be paid, but because it is a responsibility of the ministry. When you have an idea, you need to discuss with the ministry for approval. That is what has been done all over the years. When you hire a coach and you negotiate with the coach, you need to go to the ministry to tell the ministry what the coach is demanding.
Who pay?
The ministry.
Ministry will pay.
Yeah.
Is that why they insisted on having, as saying, Hughton in the mix?
Is that why I don't think the ministry insisted you put somebody as the head coach? No, nothing of the sort happened. I mean, the 12-man executive council of the FA met for hours to discuss this issue. It did not just happen that they pick a phone and say you have been appointed, or you A or B or C has been appointed. They met for hours, and in that meeting, loads of suggestions, ideas, contributions came from the respective members of the executive council, for which reason this decision was arrived at.
Calm the fears of soccer-loving Ghanaians that we don't have two captains on one boat. The captains being Chris Hughton and Otto Addo.
There is nothing like that. They know exactly what their roles are, and there wouldn't be any problem.
How different is Chris Hughton's role from Mrs. Dramani and Boateng?
Assistant coach?
Yes.
The assistant coaches know their roles. I mean, every coach now gives the KPIs to
key performance indicators
to his staff. In this case, Mr. Otto I'm sure will communicate to his subordinates what their respective roles are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Hughton like a board chairman with Mr. Otto Addo as MD?
They know what their roles are.
Tell us what the roles are. We are not football people.
I mean, I don't think I should be the one to tell you about the role of a head coach.
We are clear about the head of a role coach.
Yes,
head coach.
And I've spoken about
the role of technical advisor.
And I've spoken about the role of a technical advisor. It was the first thing I spoke about.
You have a broad knowledge.
I spoke about
Henry. 3 countries that have a technical advisor advising their coach.
Kafi, let's not make a mistake. Job descriptions differ from federations or football clubs.
Okay.
I went to the Scandinavia for 2 weeks. I met different directors of footballs who play the same role but with different job titles. It's just semantics. There is no ambiguity whatsoever as regards who advises a head coach. There is no ambiguity. He directs, he suggests, and he advises.
Who advises Yeboah in Nigeria?
Who advises Yeboah?
Yes.
He has 4 other people who have been put under him.
But there's 4 under.
Yes,
but
there are 4
also.
assistant coaches and there is 4 technical advisors. There is 1 technical advisor.
So they also have
they did not give him a technical advisor. It was a different.
I in Nigeria, they're called chief coach.
I don't know about chief coach. Chief coach means what?
I'm just struggling to understand myself because I understand what
do they have something like that in Nigeria? Because I know there is Amunike, I know there is Joseph Yeboah, I know there is Austin J.J. Okocha. Joseph Yeboah, Amunike are his assistant. Austin Okocha plays the role of someone who advises from outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when will you finalize all the details so that we know that we have a team in place? Because right now you say it's verbal.
We have a team in place.
Just on the verbal.
We have a team in place.
Would you be surprised if you woke up tomorrow and found out that they say no?
We have a team in place.
We have a team in place.
They have started work.
Well, they started working.
Yes.
Without the paperwork.
We have a team in place. Don't worry. We know what we discussed with them. We know what they told us. We know there was an agreement. But for the fact that we had an agreement, we would still be talking by this time. They know what they are going to do in terms of job descriptions, and everything has been ironed out. The only thing left is for us to probably agree with the very details, the petty details with the ministry as regards remuneration, bonus, whatsoever, and then we are good to go. But I can confidently say that they
have a team in place.
are on board.
They're on board, says Henry Asante Chum, who speaks for the Ghana Football Association. You've been speaking. A couple of quick questions, or a lot of questions, right?
A couple of quick questions. So I'm not sure if this is a question, but Kwame is reaching us from Sirius. He said, let the GFA official know that we don't trust their judgment on hiring a coach for the Stars anymore. It's always been about their own interest and how to fix their own players and never about Ghana. I'm sure you get this a lot. So how do you intend to bring the trust for the fans back into the coach and the management team?
There is only one thing. Football at the highest level is about performance. On the evidence of what happened during CK's era and Milovan's era, once you don't get the results, people will lose confidence. It's normal. Begin by winning the games, win 4 games, win 5 games. Everybody will forget about what happened at the AFCON. So the most important thing now is for the team to get back to winning ways, and we are good to go.
Why should the GFA appoint Otuado as an assistant coach and allow him to maintain his appointment with Dortmund? What's the situation now? Does he still keep his appointment with Dortmund as he is now the head coach? Kobla wants to know.
He's still at Dortmund. He has a running contract with Dortmund. If you want to get him out of that contract, it involves a lot of money to be able to get him out of that contract. We have put him in an interim capacity. After the 2 matches, we will review, and if it is possible to bring him on board in a full-time capacity, we'll deal with it.
But Mr. Ado was part of the technical team behind the scenes for AFCON. So he wasn't present in Cameroon.
He was not at the AFCON.
He was not at the AFCON,
Yeah.
is the point I'm making.
He did not play any role during the AFCON.
But he was still a member of the team behind the scenes.
No.
So I was listening to you when you were engaging CAF, and you talked about how he was not in Cameroon. I just want to understand, if we knew that he couldn't be in Cameroon at the time that we were at AFCON, why did we bring him on at the time we were bringing Milo on? Because we wanted results with AFCON.
Milo needed 2 assistants. We looked at all the options available. Otto was one of the options available. We spoke to him. We spoke to his employers. They agreed to release him on condition during FIFA-approved international breaks, as I mentioned earlier. But unfortunately, during the AFCON, that period was not a FIFA-approved international period. So the club reserved the right to keep him or release him. Unfortunately, they decided to keep him. And so we needed to also look at other options. So the FA had to appoint 1 more assistant coach to add to Maxwell Koredu during the Africa Cup of Nations. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned, and we exited at the group stage.
But do we have assurances that that won't happen in the future, especially because
we have an agreement. We have an agreement with Dortmund. Is one of the reasons why the president traveled to Germany with Tony Baffo and the technical director. We have an agreement with Dortmund. They have agreed to release him for the 2 matches. And like I said, after the 2 matches, the executive council will sit down, review all the necessary issues, and see if indeed he can come on board in a full-time capacity. If not, we look elsewhere.
Okay, so I'll try to go through as many of them as I can in the next 1 minute so that I hand it over back to you, Kaf. Kwaku, tell Asante Chum they should go all out and select players who will die for the nation. And that's what this person is saying. Select players who will die
for the nation. Okay.
And he's saying the way the GFA like appointing and selecting foreign players, I'm suggesting that we go in for a foreign GFA chairman as well. Henry would tell us whether we are even allowed to go for a foreign GFA chairman. This one says, for all 3 captains in one ship, I think it's a positive effort to get us farthest in our World Cup journey. I'm hoping all these investments do not exceed returns. I'm also hoping that the players will play as a team and not just to display individual capabilities on the pitch. More messages coming in to our WhatsApp number. If players value quadruple when we are playing in the World Cup, then it's clear we don't need to spend that much money on them for playing. And also we should call our local players so their clubs here in Ghana could make some money to help the teams here. Brian has joined. The love for Black Stars left the very day politicians and some FA members poked into influencing the selection of players. The love left the day the players became more money conscious than putting the nation at heart. The love left the day the Black Stars decided to go in one-go project. Give them all the chances to score, they won't. Hashtag GTV Breakfast. Brian is sending us this message from Howard Isaac saying, good morning GFA, good morning. Please imagine we lose to Nigeria. Will these coaches be sacked too? So continuity there, especially on the heels of what Senegal has achieved. Good morning, Kafui. We are still not satisfied with the answers. They are allowing Henry to over your questions. Is he doing that? Kaf is asking what a legitimate person would ask on the street. I'll be glad if a sports journalist like Graham is not here. Kaf is asking the hard questions and Henry is answering them, if I may be so bold. Hi, Kaf, what happens to the coaches if Ghana missed out? So that question has come twice, Henry. So what happens if Ghana does not make it to the World Cup? Will the coaches and the technical advisor, will the coach and the technical advisor stay or go? Why is it that Black Stars players are only from a few regions? Well, I do not think that that's the situation. here. My simple question is Chris Hughton a subordinate to Otto Addo or what? So the power play, people just want to understand the dynamics of who's on top and who's second in command. Besides, they're going to do humanitarian work for Ghana. I wonder what those humanitarian work would be. Mohammed Shafiu Husseini from Kaswa. The GFA is repeating the same mistakes they did on Harvey Renard in 2008. Later, he's the best coach among all the coaches Ghana appointed. And so that's the comment there from Mohammed. I think I'll take perhaps one more. I think these 4 technical men appointed by the GFA is the best so far. Let's support them. I'm going to Qatar with the Black Stars. Thank you for sending your messages across to us. 0555561034. Kaf, I'll hand it over back to you, and perhaps you can give us more answers on this Black Stars love matter.
But they are being too hard on Kaf. He's asking the right question.
I think so too.
He'll come and do the show. 41 days to the first match against Nigeria.
Yes.
When does this team assemble in Ghana?
Unfortunately, there is no free day for friendlies. The earliest time they can converge in Ghana will be 3 days to the game.
21st of March.
Yeah. That will be the earliest time. It's not peculiar to Ghana. It's peculiar to all the. It's peculiar to. Well, it could be a worry, especially when your team did not gel at the Cup of Nations. You would probably ask for more time for them to, come together here and there. But it is not our fault. That is what it is.
Where will they camp?
They will camp in Ghana because we are playing in Ghana. We are likely to camp in Cape Coast because the game will be played in Cape Coast. So they arrive in Ghana. We put them together on the night of arrival, and then the next morning we go to Cape Coast as we always do. On Monday evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the game is on Thursday.
Who picks the team?
Who picks? There is always an arrangement at the airport.
No, in terms of the selection, the first 11 or
the coach, the technical team. Collectively, so this is the arrangement. Collectively, they select the players, which of course, among themselves, they put their heads together to select which players they feel are best fit.
So all 4 of them, these 4 people?
Yes. Once they select the players, they will notify the FA. When they notify the FA, they defend the squad. Once they defend the squad and they settle on a number, the FA then sends out the invitation to their clubs, and it must be done within 14 days of the game.
So if the game is on 24th,
the game by the 24th, by the 10th
of March,
they should be, they should submit their squad, the squad for the 2 games to the FA, and it should be in a position to defend those squads as well, or those the players in the squad as well. After which the FA sends the invites to their various clubs. The clubs agree to release them. Then we follow up with tickets, which the plane ticket is then forwarded to the players and copied. The clubs are in copy, and once that is done, the players will leave their base and they head back home.
So in 27 days' time, we should know who has been selected.
Yeah. Normally, once the squad is submitted to the FA and they defend the squad, we make it public.
If we do not win these 2 games, what happens? What's this? Because I'm sure you follow all about it. You want us to go to Qatar. Yeah. We all want to go to Qatar. But in the event that we lose these 2 games, what happens to these 4 guys?
In the event that we are unable to qualify, I don't think we will lose the games anyway. But in the event that we are unable to qualify, we will look at the mid-term and long-term plan. You remember I mentioned here that the next qualifiers for the 2023 AFCON is in June. The games are in March. It means you have 4 months to the 2023 qualifiers. If you qualify for the World Cup, which is in November, you have about 8 months to put your house in order before the World Cup itself. So this is a short-term measure. The mid to long-term measure is that once we are done, the technical team will be the management committee and the FA will sit down again and review the technical team. We'll look at all the options available. Now they are contracted to different employers, 1 in Denmark, 2 in England, and then 1 in Germany. We'll look at all the options, how much it will cost us to bring them in a full-time capacity. If it's our reach, we will explore. If it is something that we cannot afford in the interim and we have to look at another option, that will also be explored. But as things stand, these 4 will work in an interim capacity. Once those 2 games are over, we'll look at other options.
Will we know what the compensation is at some point in time? Will we know how much Ghana is paying?
Yes.
When will we know that?
We will definitely, once we conclude the terms with the ministry, it will be made public. When? We remember when Milo came, we made his remuneration public. We told Ghanaians how much he was earning at the end of the month. When CK was appointed, we did same. We even told Ghanaians how much Milo would earn if he's able to take us to the World Cup. He would have walked away with $100,000. If he had taken us to the World Cup, he was on a $30,000 a monthly salary. We made all those figures public. So there is nothing to hide. I mean, if you want to win the public confidence, you do not have to be shady in your dealings. And we have never been shady in our dealings, especially when it comes to, remuneration for coaches of the Black Stars. It is a public document as well that we made how much the players earn after playing matches for the Black Stars. They take $5,000 and it's no secret. It's always been there,
What will be the appearance fee for these games, these two games?
There is none. There is no appearance fee. They earn winning bonus.
What will be the winning bonus if we qualify?
It's still 5,000. That is what has been paid throughout the period, from the AFCON qualifiers to the World Cup qualifiers.
Okay. So unlike AFCON where there was an appearance fee, this one there will be no appearance fee.
No, there is a clear distinction. When you qualify for the tournament, which of course would earn you money, the players negotiate for appearing at the tournament.
So that will happen if you win this game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But when you are playing the qualifiers, it's bonus for winning matches. These are qualifiers. These two games, you are yet to qualify for the World Cup, so you cannot negotiate for appearance fee. You can only negotiate for winning bonus.
All right. And final question. And I read that Milo will be paid up until September of this year. Is that correct?
He will be paid because we kicked the termination clause.
Okay.
So he has a severance package
right.
or payout package to him.
Henry, thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
Henry Asante Chiu speaks for the Ghana Football Association. You're up to date with what's happening with our new technical team and